the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in the binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
Few scholars achieve lasting fame as dramatically as did the philosopher Sir Peter Strawson. By 1950 Strawson, then a Fellow of University College, Oxford, was already a respected tutor and a promising member of the group of younger Oxford dons whose careful attention to the workings of natural languages marked them out as linguistic philosophers. He published extraordinary papers, which are still read and discussed more than 50 years later and which are prescribed to tyros as models of philosophical criticism. The Times of London. P. F. Strawson was a highly influential British philosopher known for his work in metaphysics, philosophy of language, and epistemology. He is particularly recognized for his descriptive metaphysics, which aimed to describe the actual structure of our thought about the world rather than attempting to revise it. His essay Freedom and Resentment also profoundly impacted discussions of moral responsibility, shifting focus from abstract metaphysical debates to the practical and interpersonal aspects of holding people accountable. P. F. Strawson was born in Ealing, West London, in 1919 and grew up in Finchley, North London. Both of his parents were teachers, fostering an intellectually stimulating home environment. He attended Christ's College, Finchley, before securing an open scholarship to St. John's College, Oxford, where he initially intended to study English. However, due to a developing interest in philosophy and the escalating political tensions in Europe, he switched to philosophy, politics, and economics PPE, beginning his lifelong engagement with philosophical inquiry. His early studies at Oxford were interrupted by World War II, during which he served in the Royal Artillery and later the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, reaching the rank of captain before being demobilized in 1946. Thanks for reading No Mic Podcast Scribed by Facelesslingjutsu. Subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work. After serving in World War II, P. F. Strawson's philosophical career truly blossomed, primarily at Oxford University, where he became a central figure in 20th-century analytic philosophy. His post-war journey began with an assistant lectureship at the University College of North Wales in Bangor in 1946. However, his exceptional talent was quickly recognized, leading him back to Oxford, where he won the prestigious John Locke Prize and secured an appointment as a Fellow at University College in 1948. The year 1950 marked a turning point with the publication of his seminal article on Referring in Mind, a direct critique of Bertrand Russell's theory of descriptions. This, along with his debate with J. L. Austin on truth, brought him international recognition and established his reputation. He remained at Oxford throughout his career, first as a fellow at University College, and then, in 1968, he succeeded Gilbert Ryle as the Waynflete Professor of Metaphysical Philosophy at Magdalen College, a position he held until his retirement in 1987. P. F. Strawson's philosophical contributions span decades and diverse fields, including the philosophy of language, metaphysics, epistemology, and a deep engagement with the history of philosophy, particularly the work of Immanuel Kant. His early career saw the publication of Introduction to Logical Theory 1952, a significant work exploring the relationship between formal logic and the nuances of natural language, arguing that everyday speech operates with its own distinct logic beyond formal systems. In 1959, he released Individuals, an essay in descriptive metaphysics, a seminal text that revived interest in metaphysics within analytic philosophy by undertaking a descriptive rather than a revisionary approach, examining the fundamental concepts, such as those of persons and material bodies, that underpin our thought about the world and how we identify particulars. P. F. Strawson's application of ordinary language analysis, particularly as exemplified in his work Individuals, an essay in descriptive metaphysics, involved a distinct philosophical methodology. Rather than attempting to construct an entirely new or revisionary metaphysical system, which might propose that our everyday understanding of reality is flawed and needs to be corrected, Strawson engaged in what he called descriptive metaphysics. This approach began by meticulously examining the way we actually use language in our daily lives and the common sense distinctions embedded within it. He believed that our ordinary language, having evolved over countless generations of human interaction and practical engagement with the world, implicitly reflects the most fundamental and inescapable concepts through which we organize our experience. For Strawson, the careful analysis of how we talk about things, how we refer to, identify, and re-identify particulars like persons and material bodies, reveals the deep, underlying conceptual structures that are necessary for us to make sense of a shared, objective world. He wasn't aiming to prescribe how we should think or speak, but rather to illuminate the existing conceptual framework that is already present and operative in our everyday linguistic practices. Thus, in Individuals, by dissecting how we categorize and refer to these basic types of entities, he applied ordinary language analysis to uncover what he saw as the bedrock categories of our conceptual scheme, showing that our capacity to communicate about and interact with a spatio-temporal reality relies on these specific, fundamental ways of conceiving of the world, which are inherently expressed in our common forms of speech. His influential reinterpretation of Kant's Critique of Pure Reason appeared in The Bounds of Sense 1966, where he sought to extract and defend the core insights of Kant's transcendental arguments concerning the necessary conditions for experience, distinguishing them from what he considered the more speculative aspects. A cornerstone in discussions of moral responsibility, his essay Freedom and Resentment 1974, later collected in a volume of the same name, profoundly shifted the debate by focusing on our inherent reactive attitudes like resentment and gratitude as central to our practices of holding others responsible, suggesting these are fundamental to human interaction and largely immune to abstract deterministic arguments. He continued to publish significant works such as Subject and Predicate in Logic and Grammar 1974, which delved into the deep linguistic and conceptual distinction between what we talk about and what we say about it. Later, Skepticism and Naturalism, Some Varieties 1985 explored different forms of skepticism and how our natural, non-argumentative commitments to basic beliefs about the world provide a response to them. Finally, Analysis and Metaphysics, An Introduction to Philosophy 1992 offered a comprehensive overview of his descriptive metaphysical approach, making his intricate ideas more accessible to a broader philosophical audience. Strawson's work was instrumental in redirecting Oxford philosophy away from some of the more anti-metaphysical leanings of the time, fostering a renewed engagement with traditional philosophical questions, albeit in his distinctive descriptive metaphysics style. He was elected a Fellow of the British Academy in 1960 and knighted in 1977 for his immense contributions to philosophy. Even after his retirement, he remained philosophically active until his death in 2006, leaving behind a rich and enduring legacy. Even after his formal retirement from the Waynflete Professorship in 1987, P.F. Strawson remained a significant and active figure in the philosophical world until his death in 2006. He continued his association with University College, Oxford, where he was granted rooms, and consistently engaged in philosophical discussions, writing, and lecturing. His post-retirement work included further refinements and extensions of his earlier ideas. For instance, in Analysis and Metaphysics, An Introduction to Philosophy 1992, he offered a concise yet comprehensive overview of his descriptive metaphysical approach, making his core ideas more accessible. He also published Entity and Identity 1997, a collection of essays that further explored themes in metaphysics and the philosophy of language. Beyond new publications, Strawson continued to be a subject of intense academic scrutiny and discussion. His seminal essay Freedom and Resentment in particular saw renewed interest and extensive commentary, leading to new interpretations of his compatibilist stance on free will and moral responsibility. Recent scholarship, for example, has highlighted shifts in his later work regarding the precise role of determinism and the ability to do otherwise in his account of responsibility, indicating that he remained open to refining his views in response to critical engagement. Strawson's enduring influence is also evident in the continued publication of collections of essays dedicated to his work, often bringing together leading contemporary philosophers to discuss his contributions across various fields, including the philosophy of language, metaphysics, epistemology, and moral philosophy. These volumes, often published posthumously or in the years leading up to his death, attest to the lasting relevance and depth of his philosophical inquiries. He also held visiting professorships and delivered lectures internationally, demonstrating his continued commitment to philosophical dialogue. In essence, Strawson's retirement was not a cessation of his philosophical activity but a transition to a period of continued reflection, refinement, and engagement with the ideas that had shaped his remarkable career. His legacy continues to be explored and debated, solidifying his position as one of the most important analytic philosophers of the 20th century. We think of the world as containing particular things, some of which are independent of ourselves. We think of the world's history as made up of particular episodes in which we may or may not have a part, and we think of these particular things and events as included in the topics of our common discourse, as things about which we can talk to each other. These are remarks about the way we think of the world, about our conceptual scheme. A more recognizably philosophical, though no clearer, way of expressing them would be to say that our ontology comprises objective particulars. It may comprise much else besides. P. F. Strawson. Other works, 1954 Particular and General Proceedings of the Aristotelian Society. 1956 Construction and Analysis in the Revolution in Philosophy. 1961 Singular Terms and Predication Journal of Philosophy. 1964 Identifying Reference and Truth Values Theoria. 1969 Meaning and Truth Proceedings of the British Academy. 1970 Categories in Philosophy in America. 1973 Imagination and Perception in Freedom and Resentment and Other Essays. While Freedom and Resentment the essay is mentioned, the collection itself contains other essays which might not have been individually cited. 1976 Scruton and Write on Anti-Realism Proceedings of the Aristotelian Society. 1980 Perception and its Objects in Philosophical Subjects, Essays presented to P. F. Strawson. 1985 Causation and Explanation in Philosophical Subjects, Essays presented to P. F. Strawson. 1985 Logical Form and Natural Language in Truth and Meaning, Essays in Semantics. 1997 The Problem of Induction in Entity and Identity. While entity and identity is mentioned as a collection, specific essays within it like this one are not. 2003 The Central Questions of Philosophy in Logical Form and Language. Notes. Personal reactive attitudes are reactions we display when we are hurt by the actions of an agent. C. Strawson, P.F. 2008, Freedom and Resentment and Other Essays, Routledge, p. 12. Anne Milkoff, A Hundred Years of English Philosophy, Springer, 2013, p. 201. Clifford A. Brown, Peter Strawson, Routledge, 2015, p. 51. Peter Frederick Strawson Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Strawson. Collins English Dictionary. HarperCollins. Snowden, Paul May 19, 2011. Strawson, Sir Peter Frederick 1919–2006, philosopher. Oxford Dictionary of National Biography Online ed. Oxford University Press. doi 10.1093 ref od 97063. Archived from the original on September 17, 2021. Retrieved May 20, 2024. Subscription or UK Public Library membership required. Peter Frederick Strawson. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Metaphysics Research Lab, Stanford University. 2022 O'Grady, Jane February 15, 2006. Sir Peter Strawson. The Guardian. ISSN 0261-3077. Retrieved May 20, 2024. Sir Peter Strawson. The Telegraph. February 15, 2006. Retrieved May 20, 2024. Grandy, Richard E. Warner, Richard, eds. 1986. Philosophical Grounds of Rationality, Intentions, Categories, Ends. Clarendon Press. Pages 48–9. Hacker, PMS. 2011. Analytic Philosophy: The Heritage. Teorema, Revista Internacional de Filosofía. 31, 77–85. Phillips, R.L. 1967. Descriptive versus Revisionary Metaphysics and the Mind, Body Problem. Philosophy. 42 160, 105–118. doi 10.1017s0031819100001030. February 13, 2006, November 23, 1919-. Sir Peter Strawson. The Times. ISSN 0140200460. Retrieved November 15, 2020. Todd, Daphne. Bill Sykes, Peter Strawson, George Cockwell, and Hartmut Pogge von Strandman. Art UK. UK. Retrieved January 23, 2015. Quine, W.V. 1953. Mr. Strawson on Logical Theory. Mind. 62 248, 433–451. doi 10.1093 Mindlesy I.248.433. ISSN 0026-4423. Jaster 225-1091.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No light, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. Silence break, raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw.
Okay.